The city of York in the UK is clouded by a sinister history. Behind these ancient walls, its violent and volatile past has made it a hotspot for paranormal activity. Take a stroll down any one of its winding streets and you're bound to bump into a soul with unfinished business.
Whilst on the hunt for the spirit of the highwayman Dick Turpin, who met his grisly end here, we explored all the nooks and crannies this city had to offer to find the most haunted places possible and maybe commune with the infamous outlaw himself.
So come with us as we show you the back alleys, haunted taverns, and spooky ghost stories that surround this town steeped in history. Welcome to the most haunted city in Europe.
Hey guys, we are here in York, back on the trail of Dick Turpin, but while we're here we couldn't resist finding out a little bit more about this historic city.
In fact, the International Ghost Research Foundation says it's the most haunted city in Europe.
Of course, it has such a violent history, doesn't it? You look at the English Civil War, you look at the Vikings, the Norman Conquest, there's so much going on in this historic city.
Over 500 hauntings apparently.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's find out some of the best ones.
The first place on our list is the picturesque Treasurer's House. Now owned and maintained by the National Trust, this historic building is apparently home to many spirits, and features in what is possibly York's most famous ghost encounter.
It is said that back in 1953, a plumber called Harry Martindale was tasked with installing central heating in the cellars of the building. As he worked, he heard the sound of a horn off in the distance. He shrugged it off at first and continued working, but the horn grew louder and louder, as if drawing closer. Then, a phantom cart horse suddenly emerged from the cellar wall, followed by an entire legion of Roman soldiers, who he describes as looking like they had been cut off at the knees. It wasn't until some time after this event that it was discovered an old Roman road lies underneath the building, a good 15 inches below the cellar floor, which could explain why the soldiers appeared to be sunk into the ground.
Now, one of the issues with Harry's story was that he claimed that the Roman soldiers had round shields, but at that time, Romans in this period exclusively used the rectangular shields. But later research, after his story came out, found that the 4th Legion changed at this time and they did have round shields. And it's interesting because there's no way that he would have known that at the time.
No. Interesting, and of course, Harry never changed his story, did he? He recounted it time and time again and never actually changed his story. So is there validity within that itself?
It's definitely very interesting, for sure. Now, unfortunately, we're not actually allowed in the cellar, but we are allowed in the gardens. And the gardens are another place where ghosts have been sighted in Treasurer's House.
Visitors to the gardens have reportedly witnessed the former owner of the house, George Aisleby, who owned the property in the 17th century. Another tale reports how the tapestry room within the house was once occupied by a married couple. However, when the husband was repeatedly unfaithful to the wife, she brutally murdered him in a fit of rage. Visitors claim the room is noticeably colder than the others, and a phantom woman has been seen sitting in a chair.
We've actually come at an interesting time because there is an art installation on called Ghosts in the Garden, and they've got these really cool chain link ghosts going on, so it's quite a good time that we visited. Let's go check it out.
Feeling like an entire legion of Roman ghosts may be a bit too many to take on at once, we left the Treasurer's House and took a stroll past the York Minster and into the museum gardens. There we stumbled upon the remains of a large medieval hospital, which apparently has a spooky story of its own.
Can I just say, it is lovely to be back with you both here in York. It's nice, yeah.
Well, we haven't been to York before, but
This is my first time in York.
I've been twice.
Your first time?
I came to York when I was 10 years old on a school trip to touch the Viking poo, and I think every UK school child is familiar with what I'm aware of.
I didn't do any Viking poo touching. I've been to the York too. I did not touch the Viking. I've been there twice.
Didn't touch the Viking poo. So Robin,
I'm missing out.
why are we here in this courtyard right now?
We are here because this is the courtyard of what used to be St Leonard's Hospital, the biggest hospital in medieval northern England. And apart from helping the sick and the needy, it also gave food to the poor and the destitute. Founded and run by monks, hence the very religious decor of the ruins, which are all that's left standing. I think this was the undercroft that's still standing, but here is the rumoured location of another spooky apparition, one of the many in York. And this was a monk who liked to sample the communion wine a little too much and go into town and get drunk, and the beer presumably as well. And one time he got so drunk in town that the prior of the abbey decided to punish him by walling him up in, I think, the undercroft of the hospital.
Yeah, it's quite extreme, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine, have you ever been that drunk that the town priest wants to just wall you up?
The point is, this fella got walled up, but unbeknownst to the prior, who thought he'd done a good deed here by punishing this fella, by walling him up inside the undercroft, the monk found there was a rotten patch in the wall. So he just pushed through it and into St. Mary's Abbey next door and then pretended to be a new monk.
That's ridiculous. What are you doing here?
Just a new monk. Where'd you come from?
Definitely not from there.
Yeah, it starts giving too much monk information out. They're like, you're not new.
But he couldn't give up his old habits, and he kept on getting drunk, and then he got walled up yet again.
What?
Oh dear.
Yeah. But this time, he got trapped inside. There was no rotten wall for him to push through, and apparently he got stuck there for a year until they decided to check in on him.
They checked on him after a year.
They did, and he was still alive, apparently, according to the tale. I suspect, though, he didn't make it out, because the story goes that people could still hear the moans and screams of a monk having been walled up
Oh dear.
inside the ruins here.
That's a bit dark.
If only we could find out if there is a trace of a spirit left here at the ruins.
Well, Robin, I brought some tools with me today. So if you've played Phasmophobia before, you'll recognise this. This is a EMF reader, electromagnetic frequency reader. So the theory is that ghosts, if they exist, emit a kind of radioactive frequency,
Yeah.
and sometimes you can pick them up on these meters.
Well, that.
Yeah, on this. £20 from Amazon. It says "Cherish Life" on the back of it. So this is definitely going to work. Oh yeah, okay, let's ask them. If there is the ghost of a monk here, show yourself. Please, anyone?
Nothing so far.
Inconclusive, I'd say. So this was the area where he was kept.
Yes.
Or he was walled up. Where do you think he
Busted out.
busted out?
Where there's no walls, probably.
Oh no, it's a ghost.
Feeling a little disheartened we hadn't been in contact with any spirits, we left the ruins of St. Leonard's Hospital and instead stumbled down the cobbled street known as Stonegate.
Connecting the Guildhall to York Minster, the street is one of the busiest and most popular areas for tourists, but also holds a dark past. Some of the buildings here are said to be the most haunted in the city, including Ye Old Star Inn. Officially dating back to 1644, it claims to be the oldest tavern in York and is apparently teeming with otherworldly goings-on. What better place to stop for lunch?
It's thought the building could be even older than record state, going back as far as the English Civil War, with the town being besieged by parliamentarians. Injured Roundhead soldiers were brought here to be treated, and some people even claim to hear the screams of these soldiers down in the basement. But we've got to ask ourselves, how many drinks have they had at the time? There's also claimed to be 2 ghostly cats who haunt the building. How does your face that?
Newly energized and slightly buzzed, we pressed on down Stonegate, where we arrived at our next 2 spooky locations. While 35 and 41 Stonegate now seem unassuming in this quaint high street, they are known in the ghost hunting community as some of the most haunted places in England.
So this is 35 Stonegate, which as you can see is now just an Oliver bonus, but it's said that a ghost named Tom haunts the 2nd floor, which is apparently a seance room.
Number 41 is also haunted, but by the ghost of a young girl who died in tragic circumstances. According to legend, the structure formerly housed a wealthy doctor who hosted elaborate parties and invited lots of the locals to attend. He had an 8-year-old daughter who was intrigued by these extravagant affairs. One night, a party was in full swing when the daughter was told to go to bed. She climbed the stairs to the top of the building where her room was located. But rather than go to sleep, she spied on the party below from the top landing. She leaned over the balcony as far as she could and unfortunately lost her balance, plunging to her death in the basement below. Since then, the sounds of children playing and sightings of the girl have occurred all throughout the home.
Nearby, we also stopped at Judge's Court, where Martin decided to rather menacingly tell us of a ghost that occupies the area, while both Alex and I backed away in fear.
It's said that a tall, mysterious man wearing black cladding has been seen walking through Judge's Court alongside the sound of metallic ringing. At a nearby well, the bones matching this man were found alongside a broken spurt thought to be from his boots. Could this have been the ghost of Judge's Court?
Wandering the streets of York and taking in the history of this picturesque city was great fun, but it wasn't why we were here. And with the sun beginning to set, we stopped at Lady Peckett's yard for a spot of ghost hunting.
So here we have Lady Peckett's yard, formerly known as Bacchusgale or Bakehouse Lane, later given its present name because John Peckett, Lord Mayor, and his wife lived here. Now I thought this place could be rife with spirits.
But it looks spooky, doesn't it?
It does look pretty spooky, so I've got my thing. We're going to turn it on.
Oh my goodness.
And let's go see if we can catch any ghosts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything yet?
Nothing out. Nothing out.
Goodness, look at this.
Oh.
Yeah. Just imagine her face at the window.
I think, would you like to see a ghost today, genuinely? Because I think it would be quite, I don't know, it would be very scary.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, if it was a shared experience between us, I think something would definitely be accomplished on this trip, right? We would have seen something tangible that we can talk about.
I feel like, yeah, because I'd like to believe in ghosts, for sure.
Yeah.
I just need a tiny, just give me a shred of evidence.
Just a little crumb.
Just like a little crumb, something to go on, and I will believe it.
Come on, a crumb.
Come on, give me something. Let me ask the spirits directly, okay? If there is a ghost in Lady Peckett's alleyway, yard, Lady Peckett's yard, reveal yourself and come before us now.
It's not very promising, is it?
Not very promising, unfortunately.
What if we put our phone near it? Does it make any difference?
Well, what about if we put it next to a microwave?
What's down the bottom of the yard? Can I have a look?
Does anyone want to talk to us? It smells nice down there. For those of
like
you,
a restaurant.
For those of you who can't smell it right now, it smells like, yeah, exactly, like Chinese, like at the back of a restaurant. But it's very. Do you know what it's making me think? It's making me think we should head for some food.
I thought you were going to say it's making me think that Lady Peckett might have been Chinese.
Lady Peckett was a bit peckish, and that's where the word comes from. It's not.
These two are mad.
Now feeling a little peckish, we left Lady Peckett's alleyway and decided to find somewhere to eat. And where did we find? Only the most haunted pub in the UK. So Martin, we're stood outside the Golden Fleece, which is considered to be the most haunted pub in the UK. What? It's dated back to at least 1503, which is when it was first mentioned in the York archives, and apparently up to 15 spectres reside here. Really? And clearly, the Golden Fleece isn't
They're not shy.
Isn't shy about this. Yeah. They advertise the 5 ghosts of the Golden Fleece, including Lady Alice Peckett, whose lane we visited earlier, Jeff Monroe, One-Eyed Jack, the grumpy old man, and the small child. So let's go inside and see if we can find some of them. Either that or a pint. Or a pint, yeah.
Of the 15 spectres apparently residing here, the most discussed is probably Lady Alice Peckett. The wife of John Peckett, Mayor of York in the 1700s and also the former owner of the inn. Many guests have reported seeing Alice wandering the corridors, moving furniture around, and walking up and down staircases in the small hours of the night.
So Alex, no ghosts found.
No ghosts found, but we did find the bottom of a few pint glasses. Oh!
Sadly, despite looking for Lady Peckett in her yard, as well as in the pub she supposedly frequents, we were starting to think that she just wasn't interested in chatting with us.
However, little did we know, our ghost hunting luck was about to change when we visited number 5 College Street, otherwise known as the Plague House.
So right here, at the end of College Street,
this beautiful row of houses is the Plague House. And up here in this tiny little window apparently can be seen the ghostly face of a little girl who was the last surviving member of a family who tragically, during one of the many times that the plague hit York, they caught the plague, they all died except for her.
Yeah.
But to keep the plague at bay, the residents of the city locked up the house, boarded up all the doors so she couldn't get out. And they heard her crying and screaming for help until eventually she did die of starvation. And her spirit apparently haunts to this day. It can be seen out little window, which, with this UV light, right, in theory, we should be able to maybe see something spooky.
We haven't
in
seen
the house.
anything spooky all day, Robin, so
Okay.
hopefully, is there anything that we can see?
Can you see a spirit there?
Maybe we could use our trusty old EMF reader.
Oh, there's nothing spooky here. Oh,
Oh,
oh my gosh. There's actually something here.
this is actually a bit spooky.
Go near the house. What we got?
Number 4 is lighting up a tiny bit.
This is crazy.
This is actually a bit weird. Like, okay, I'd fully expected there not to be nothing here. This is unprompted. What? What do we do?
Well, I think we just say thank you and sorry for your miserable life and horrible end.
Oh, and it's gone.
Well,
it's gone.
it's gone.
Oh no, it's back.
If she is here, it looks like she might be. She does at least have a lovely view of the York Minster.
Emboldened by our success, we felt brave enough for a stroll down Lund's Court, otherwise known as Mad Alice Lane.
Martin, why are we here at Mad Alice Lane?
Well, Mad Alice, or Alice Smith as she was supposedly known, lived here with her husband in the early 19th century.
Yeah.
And the story goes that Mad Alice was actually beaten up by her husband.
Oh.
And one day she snapped and she poisoned him and he died. There is a second story that's slightly more sympathetic to Alice. And in this one, her husband died of natural causes. But in a grief-stricken state, she admitted to killing him falsely.
No.
Because she had gone mad.
Oh, no.
And then, of course, suffered the same fate of being hanged at York Castle. Anyway, let's go and have a look. It is said that you can sometimes see Alice looking out of one of the windows overhanging the lane at the end.
Well, the meter's on. Let's see if it detects anything. It's very dark in here. Oh, yeah. Is your UV light picking anything up, Martin? Oh. Something's happening with the meter. It's... Oh my gosh, it's going... Oh no. Up where the windows are. Okay, that's really weird. Oh, it's getting weaker now. Definitely picking something up near this house and yeah, over here, yeah. It's even stronger, strongest over here, yeah. It could be one of these windows, that's where Mad Alice looks down from.
It's pretty creepy, isn't it? Yeah.
It's overbalanced. Let's get out of it now.
So Martin, what did you think of that tunnel? Oh, Robin's dropped dead.
That's got to be one of the scariest places that we've discovered in York so far.
Yeah.
Mad Alice Lane. Whether we saw Alice or not, whether she was there. I mean, something was picked up on the counter. Whether that was her or not.
Picked up something.
To know.
Oh, it's doing it again. Oh. Oh shit.
Well, don't bring her back to the flat with us.
That was just on one when we went in.
Yep.
And now Martin's got... That's freaky.
Have you been possessed, Martin? You good?
I think I'm okay. No, I'm good.
Oh, you had me for a second there.
They hanged me. Satan is my friend.
Oh, what?
With one of us possibly possessed by a murderous spirit, we journeyed onwards to our penultimate stop, Mgate Bar.
One of the 4 grand entrances to the city of York, Mgate Bar was the site where heads and other body parts of traitors and wrongdoers were displayed on spikes as a way of deterring those considering breaking the law. But like many of the ghosts that haunt the city of York, the most notable spirit occupying Mgate is that of a child with a tragic story.
So Martin, here is Mgate Bar, and all manner of ghostly apparitions have been reported here, but most of them are attributed to a girl called Sarah, who was apparently the daughter of an 18th century gatekeeper And one day he tasked her with looking after his keys, his very important keys.
Okay.
This was a gate to the city.
It does look like an important gate.
It's an important gate. And she lost those keys, Martin. And
Not good.
he lost his job. The family went destitute.
Oh, it's going worse.
But Sarah spent the rest of her life looking for these keys.
Okay.
And apparently she was found as an old woman, dead, with the keys clutched in her hands. It appeared as if she had found the keys and then died immediately of shock.
What a terrible way to go. Your life's ambition realised and then you just die. Yeah.
But apparently on dark nights, people report hearing the sound of jangling keys. It's Sarah, the spirit of Sarah, just reminding you that she did find the keys in the end. But I don't know, Martin, should we be very quiet and see if we can have a listen? Can't hear anything.
No, can't do anything. No.
With the night turning into the early hours of the morning, we had one stop left on our ghost hunting journey. But for that, we needed to make a quick detour back to the flat for some specialized equipment. Welcome to Alex Creates. So what I'm doing right now is making a Ouija board because somebody threw ours out.
This is an unjust accusation.
With a wonderful homemade Ouija board in hand, we had a date with Destiny, as well as the infamous highwayman, Dick Turpin.
So guys, obviously we came here earlier and we've come back because we've got to try and communicate with our dear friend / horrible human being, Mr. Dick Turpin. And what better way to do that than to try a Ouija board? Now, we've got to be very careful that we don't upset any of the spirits, not just Dick Turpin, but any of the spirits in the surrounding area, okay? A lot of people might be offended that we're even trying this. And I would say to those people that, sorry. Sorry. But whatever repercussions that happen because of this, then we brought them on ourselves. Dick Turpin, are you there? Oh, there we go. There's some movement. Something's going on. Unless he's really trying to say T.
Like resetting.
Okay. Maybe Dick Turpin isn't here. But that would make sense, right? Because this isn't necessarily the grave of Dick Turpin. And plus, he's got some other things to going on.
Yeah.
So why don't we broaden the question? Is anyone here? Are there any spirits with us here in this cemetery tonight?
Oh. Whoa. No. Is that a letter? Oh, we're going there? We're going there? Oh, that's towards yes.
It's towards yes.
Towards yes.
Should we assume that that's a yes?
I think that's a yes.
Okay, let's assume that's a yes. Okay.
On the knees.
I'm gonna sit like this. Yeah. Get comfy. We're here with the spirits. We're getting comfortable. Do you like us being here with you right now?
Oh shit. Martin, when he begins with an F, that's not a great sign.
It's heading towards yes.
Heading towards yes, yeah.
They like us. They
like
like
us.
us.
I don't like
that's
this.
what we want. That's what we want. Okay. Do you know Dick Turpin?
It's a girl. Oh. I don't know. What's this mean?
It probably means nothing, right?
That went to H.
H. Okay. Let's say H. Okay.
Could be beginning of hello. Would you give us the next letter, please? Oh my gosh. T.
HT.
HT.
HT. What's that mean?
It's better. Are you dyslexic?
He's. Maybe it's he's.
Oh.
He's here. He's not here. He's gone to the shops for milk.
Oh, okay, well, next question then. Are you trying to tell us he's not here?
Absolutely no movement whatsoever.
I think that's the wrong question.
Well, I think we should say that the mystery of Dick Turpin lives on. He will not talk to us.
I mean, well, this was constructed in the 20th century. And we know that he's buried somewhere in St. George's, though perhaps not here.
Not here.
It didn't work. failed. However, we travelled the length and breadth of the country to all be together here, breaking our knees on top of Dick Turpin's grave. Very cold.
On top of. Well, there's not one kind on top of. I mean, that sounds disrespectful, doesn't it?
Well,
but then again, he murdered people, so, you know, respect comes into it.
Swings and roundabouts.
Exactly.
And we tried our hardest to contact him with an officially produced homemade Ouija board.
Made with love.
Made with love. This took me an hour. So I think, honestly, if he wants to get in touch, this is the ball's in his court, you know?
Yeah.
It's on him now. But I think what we should say is thank you guys so much for watching this. We hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this with all three of us together again. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Jesus. Oh my gosh.